Virtual Summit 2024. So before you occupy stage, I would like to give a brief introduction to the audience, who you are, your accomplishments. So yes, so welcome on stage, Leslie French. So Leslie French, a passionate advocate for fitness and mental health. Leslie created Better Balance for Life alongside a physiotherapist to help others rediscover vitality. Through her journey of overcoming a challenging personal life, Leslie learned to harness the power of neuroplasticity for profound mental and physical regeneration. Join her to learn techniques that can reverse the effects of aging by up to 20 years. That's so interesting. So, yes. So everyone wants to be like look young. So yes, so Leslie is here. So if you have any questions, if you want to look young, so definitely you have to be in this 30 minutes of this session. So Leslie, all the best.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'll make this very quick. I started this journey not actually so long ago, and I started this journey primarily to fix my mum and to fix myself. So my fitness journey started quite some time ago, looking for things that were going to keep older adults on their feet, stop older adults from falling, and basically make aged care a thing of the past. Because let's face it, nobody wants to go there. I know not all cultures do that, but our culture here in Australia certainly does, and I want to prevent that because I want people to stay strong, independent, and basically moving on their own 2 feet forever. But I have been through quite a lot of adversity through a very, how am I going to put this? A not so happy marriage, let's put it that way. I was basically being abused for 25 years. And through that, I ended up with a lot of triggers. And so I went on a journey to find out how to fix myself. And in amongst that, found all the skills and tools to fix anyone. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. Is our ability to be able to change our brain and to actually start to shave years off of our lives. Now, I'm nearly 60. I'm 60 next year. And I know that I'm basically the fittest, the strongest I've ever actually been in my life, just following everything that I'm giving to my people. One of the main things that we need as people, it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, is to gain control of our stress. Because to be honest with you, it does not matter all the good food that you can possibly eat. You could be doing that. You could be moving, doing all these fantastic movements for the body. You could be getting enough sleep, drinking enough water. But at the end of the day, if we do not control our stress, we do not control that anxiety, that is when the body really starts to break down. And we can see massive changes at the cellular level. And this is what people have to understand. It is not just what is in the mind, it's what those thoughts, then actually those effects that it has on the body. So, stress, anxiety, depression, chronic pain, they all start with something. Something happens in our life, and it could be, everyone's different. It could be something that happened to you as a child. So you may be carrying something that happened to you as a child, and you're bringing this forward in a little bag. So we have a little backpack on our back. And through life, you're constantly stuffing all of these things into the backpack. Yeah. Life gets busy. So we get up every morning and we're on the go. We never take the time to stop, acknowledge, and reflect. What do I feel? You know, you don't feel great, but you just keep pushing through. You keep going on to the next task, that next thing on your to-do list. Yeah. And as busy people in the way things are today, yeah, We may have all the technology in the world to help us move forward and help us do what we want to do, but life just seems to keep picking up speed, doesn't it? It goes faster as we get older as well. And here's the thing, if those of you looking at me now are over 50, you've got whatever you've been through in the last 50 years, that has made you who you are today. However, are you allowing the last 50, 60, 70 years, however old you are, 40, it doesn't matter how old you are you allowing your past to control you in your now? See, here's the thing. If you're living in the past all the time, you're depressed. If you're constantly living in your future, and what I mean by that, I don't mean looking at your long term and your short term goals. I don't mean those things. I mean things like me giving this talk today. I didn't really, apart from preparing, I didn't really give it much thought until I got to today. Because guess what? It doesn't matter how much I think about it, how I thought about it yesterday, the day before, and the day before that. Until I get here to do it, is there any point in me worrying about it? We tend to do that. Something's happening in our future and we'll mull over it and we'll think of all these possible scenarios and things that could possibly happen. May I ask you, what is the point? There isn't any. So it's learning to grab control of this, the mindset. So moving forward through life, if we allow, and I'll say allow, if we allow our mindset to become negative, I'll give you an example. So one of the things that I teach in when I'm wearing my physical fitness hat, and this is all to do with mindset. And I'm sure if you're over 40, each and every one of you will know how this feels. You go to get out of your chair. That's what happens. I'm going to move back a little. I'll move that down. I'm going to move back a little. So what happens? You go to get out of your chair. You get up. You got to move. And then you feel yourself, don't you? So then you feel your body, you get up, you're all stiff, and there might be some moaning and groaning before you get up and you stand up straight. Yes? And then after a few steps, you feel okay again. But I bet you anything, as you're getting out of the chair, what do you think about yourself as you're doing that? Quite often the thought process can be, oh, I'm getting old. You keep thinking that, what you're doing is you're just feeding your self-prophesizing, so to speak. But if we do the following, I'll show you how to fix that. I'll have to do this I'll move it slowly so I don't make anybody dizzy, just so that you can see my feet. If you simply tap your feet on the floor, sorry, you can't quite see them, but it doesn't matter, you get the gist. You tap your feet on the floor before you get out of the chair does three things for you. One thing that it does, it starts the blood pumping around the body. So you're actually telling your body, I'm getting ready to move. You're then pumping blood into the muscles. You're getting your nervous system ready. So it's going, oh, we must be getting to move. Something's happening down there. Then the third, and what a lot of people don't know, is if you tap your feet on the ground before you get out of your chair every time, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have stronger bones. Now, I know some of you may have heard, once you start to go into osteopenia, you're eking into osteoporosis, when we're starting to lose a little bit more bone density, that you can't get it back. Well, that's actually not true. I see 500 to 600 people a week with what I do, and I know from the bone density scans that are coming back over the years, too many people having increased bone density. Why would that be? It's because of what I'm giving them in the class. So anyway, going back to the mindset, because that's what this is about. Tapping those feet. When you get out of the chair, you feel young, you feel vital. You actually feel like you've got some energy, and you don't get that thought, ooh, I'm getting old. It all starts with the mind and the way that we think. So when it comes to stress, anxiety, and depression, what's happened? So neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to change. But the thing is, it gets really, really, really good at playing the same tune. So let's take your mind and look at it as an orchestra, for example. So all these different tunes playing in your head, all these different instruments playing in your head. When you have a thought process, let's take chronic pain for just as an example. It could be pain, stress, anxiety, depression, one of those things. Yeah. It's all the same in the way the brain works. So chronic pain, let's say you injured yourself 20 years ago. Yeah. So your brain and your body will remember all of that went on and whatever it is that's created the problem. Like I said, whether it be stress, anxiety, pain, or depression. See, the thing is, pain can be emotional, it can also be physical. Yeah. So that happened to you 20 years ago. You then got all these little neurons that are all lumped together in that little thought process that's up here somewhere. And every time you think about that pathway is really strong in there because you've used it so many times. It's like a track in the bush, let's say, for example. Yeah. And we saw what happened over COVID when things weren't used for a while and everyone was just sat there and they were nice and quiet and they didn't do anything. Yeah. You saw nature started to take back over. Our brain is the same. Those neural pathways that you constantly use over and over and over and over again become so strong and so entrenched within your brain that that's where your mind is always going to go. Is it no wonder you can sometimes feel like you're a mouse on a wheel running constantly? So here's the trick. Whatever that thought is that your mind keeps going to, you've got to say to yourself, stop. You know you don't want to keep going there. What's the point of living in the past? Where is that actually going to take you? Nowhere. So we actually have to say to ourselves, stop. Stop the moment that thought comes into the head. Then out loud, you actually say the word change. You say stop to yourself. Then you say change. And then after that, you can put together something really simple, like a little mantra. So when I was going through my own trauma and I was trying to keep my autonomic nervous system calm, not that I knew that's what I was trying to do back then. I didn't know that, but now I do. So when I was trying to calm myself, I would say my mantra to myself over and over again. And my mantra, not that this would be yours, but possibly these may be things that you would like to be or become. Mine was, I am becoming strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, happy, healthy, wealthy. I am becoming, because I didn't feel any of those things at the time. I didn't feel strong. I didn't feel powerful. I didn't feel loving. I was in a little bit of a mess. So I say to myself, stop. As soon as the thought comes in, change. Say the word change out loud, because that's what you want to do. You want to change. And then I used to think about my mantra. So here's the thing. When you're filling your mind with something positive, your mind cannot think about what it was you were worried about before. It can't. It's actually not physically possible. Then, while we are doing the mantra in our mind, we're saying that over and over again, we're feeding the positive back in to the mind. Then we work on the breath. Your breath can make all the difference as to whether you're going to be calm or whether you're going to be stressed. I cannot impart on you enough how important the way we breathe is. The way we breathe can affect your weight. The way you breathe will change the way you look. So if you're not breathing functionally, believe it or not, it actually ages you. And some of you are saying, well, please tell me how to stop doing that. It literally does. So if you're someone who breathes through your mouth all the time, your mouth is open, you're breathing in and out through your mouth, actually change the shape of the jaw. We should never be breathing through our mouth. Your mouth should only be open when you're talking and when you're eating. Apart from that, the lips should be shut. The tongue is glued to the roof of your mouth and your teeth are apart. Yeah. and we're breathing through in and out through the nose. Now I want to tell you this because it's really, really important, and this actually could change the way some of you feel right here, right now. So if you know that you do breathe through the mouth, yeah, or maybe you're not sure, I want to start analyzing, acknowledge, what am I doing? Where are my lips? Where's my teeth? And where's my tongue? I put my tongue in between my two front teeth, and then I nestle it on the roof of the mouth, and I keep my teeth apart. And here's the reason that you want to keep your teeth apart. And this, again, is to do with your autonomic nervous system and the way the body works. So if you shut down your jaw during the day, so let's say you're doing, I don't know, a chore of some description, working, your mind is really focused on what you're doing, you may go back inside yourself and notice that your jaw is shut down. If you shut your jaw, so that means the teeth are touching, you're actually turning up the volume of cranial nerve number 5. We have 12 cranial nerves that are responsible for your autonomic nervous system. What is your autonomic nervous system? It carries out the automatic functions of your body: breathing, blinking, heart rate, blood pressure, all the things you don't have to do anything about, all the things your body just does for you. So that's what your autonomic nervous system does, your digestion. So if we shut down cranial nerve number 5, we've actually squished the other 11 a little, and that makes them less effective. Do you wonder why no matter what you do, you can't fix your gut? It could actually be that you're shutting down cranial nerve number 5, which is affecting your vagus nerve. Okay? Vagus nerve, huge footprint in the tummy. Your vagus nerve's unhappy, your tummy's going to be unhappy. So, what has this got to do with neuroplasticity? It all fits together in the same home. We need to get the body to the point where it is in homeostasis. Homeostasis is when all the body's systems are working together synergistically to give you a healthy mind and body. So, going back to how do we actually change this? What did I say in the beginning? We actually stop. You realize your mind is going to that place you don't want it to go, no matter what it is. You say, stop, change. You put into place a little mantra: I am becoming 5, 6 little things that you can remember. I am becoming these things. Yeah. And then we do some breath work. Yeah. One of the best ways, and this is really simple, guys, one of the best ways to control your autonomic nervous system is to breathe in through the nose for a count of 4, and then breathe out slower for a count of 6. See, here's the thing. You do not absorb your oxygen when you breathe in. You actually absorb it as you exhale. We're very sensitive to the level of carbon dioxide in the blood. If we get too much carbon dioxide within the body, that is where our stress response can start. You can induce a panic attack from not breathing properly. It will, when you can't control your autonomic nervous system, it jangles you. You don't know what's wrong with yourself. You know you don't feel right, but you're not sure how to fix it. Then you look at this huge problem that you feel you have at this huge, great big entity. And you look at it and go, how can I possibly fix this? You do it one step at a time. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. How do we fix things within ourselves that we want to change? We do it one tiny thing at a time. Now, our brains are so powerful. So if you're unconscious, so part of the problem is you're coming out of parasympathetic, which is where that's your logical thinking, where we can make sense of things, we can think about things, and they make sense, and we can make decisions, and we're in control. But if you're in sympathetic, this is your fight, fright, and freeze part of the brain, you have zero control. over that, by the way, because it is unconscious. Yeah. You have no idea what is going on in there, but you know you don't feel right. So that breath that I gave you, the 4 breath in and the 6 breath out, will take you from sympathetic, fight, fright, and freeze, back into parasympathetic, where you can start to make logical, better choices. If you're in fight, fright, and freeze, what is that? What's that doing to you? That means that you are in a fear pain loop. You're in a loop of some description when we're here. You can't think straight. You're probably breathing with your neck and your shoulders. So we get this type of breathing going on. We're breathing shallow now. We're not taking breath into the lungs, and we're in major stress response. Tummy can start to feel a little bit yucky as well, and we don't know why. Slow down your breath. It is honestly one of the biggest keys to keeping you and your body under control. Then, when we feel good, guess what we tend to then do? We move more. We socialize more because you're feeling better about yourself. I'm not trying to simplify trauma. I've been through massive trauma. I'm not trying to simplify it. But the basic facts are, if you stop the thought, you tell yourself to change, you say your mantra, you do some breath work, many different breath works out there, guys. I'm not saying that the 4 and 6 is better than maybe some others that you have. However, I know it's simple, it's easy to remember, and I know it works. Yeah. Then we have a tool. We've got several tools I've just given you that you can utilize to help regain control. The less you use old pathways and the more you use the new pathways that you're putting into place with the mantra that you're putting into place, the more you can regain control of you. You then start to get your blood pressure under control. Now, I'm very aware that we're getting short on time. There's something that I would really want to make sure that I mention to all of you before I start to take any questions, if you have any. So, if you are in a state, and what I mean by that, something's happened, your heart's pumping, and you can feel a panic attack coming on. For those of you that suffer from panic attacks, I know, because I know some of you get to the point where you even vomit, yeah, or you don't want to leave the house. And that's not a great way to be. Yeah, not a great way to be. There's something called the psychological side. The psychological side changes the physiology of your body, as does the 4 breath in and the 6 breath out. That also changes your physiology. By changing from sympathetic to parasympathetic, we're changing your physiology. The psychological side is possibly not something you want to do if you're in front of people, because it's kind of powerful. So I'm going to do it for you now. It's a short, sharp breath in through the nose, really short, really sharp, very fast. Powerful. Then, so you haven't filled the lung with that one breath. So here is what we do. We do that. And then you take another breath in to fill the lung. So filling the lung. Then we exhale really slowly. So if you feel this start, do 2 or 3 of those, and I guarantee you, you will be back into parasympathetic in the blink of an eye. Absolutely, you will. Power of this. I had a lady that was vomiting every day. I think it was for about 25 years, until she came and did a course with me. We fixed that in the first session with that. How do you think she felt? She was elated. Mind you, she didn't tell me until the end of the course. Why, I'm not sure. There's kind of really positive feedback. Okay, so how do I control it? It can be that simple, everybody. Your breath, mindfulness, being mindful of what you're doing. Mindful meditation is also extremely important alongside the breath. Morning, night, doing mindful meditation. All of those sorts of things can put a lid on all of this anxiety and stress and depression that we're feeling, because it breaks down your body. It changes your body at the cellular level. And I know from all the scientific evidence that I have looked at on this, stress, anxiety, and depression are one of the best ways to become ill and produce disease within your body. So if you want to make sure that you keep your body fit, strong, healthy, and anti-aging, your mind anti-ages you depending on how you think. If you think vital and you think young, that's how you're going to feel. And you will portray that within your movement and your being. If you, "Hmm, if we're like this, then how are you going to feel?" So remember my little trick. Tap your feet on the floor before you get out of your chair and see how different you really feel. And you will. You will feel that vitality coming back into the body again. So I'm not sure if anybody has any questions. I don't have anything in my feed there. But if you do have any questions, you want to pop them in there, I'd be happy to answer any of your questions. I did put all my links in the bio there, so you can go and check out my website or my YouTube channel. Got lots of little bits and pieces in there that will help you, and no matter where you are in the world as well, I can take you as a client either on Zoom or live. So I'm assuming there are no questions. No. We have 3 minutes. Would you like me to keep talking? Yeah, yeah, keep talking. Okay.
I know. So there are other speakers also waiting. So yeah, this was really a great presentation, Lesley. So we do have a question from our audience. So here is the question. So what do you think are the most significant factors that contribute to falls and loss of mobility in older adults, and how can these be prevented?
Okay. It tends to be fear. Okay, so fear, when we, especially once we've had a fall, that is the biggest contributor, is fear and a lack of confidence or a loss of confidence, and the belief that once we lose our confidence, then there's nothing that we can do about that. But that just isn't true. So again, this is to do with neuroplasticity and the brain's ability to change. Here's the thing: you were all children once. Everyone was. You had to have been to get to this point in your life. Yes? So in my classes, I do simple things like simple ball games, playing with balloons. You want to improve your mobility and your stability, and you want to do it really easily, get a balloon and play balloons with someone. That works your balance, it works your hand-eye coordination, it works your vestibular system, which is your ears and your eyes all working together to keep the balance. Simple things that we can do to keep the balance is to keep moving and to ensure that you do some simple things like single leg stands, standing on one leg. We do that obviously somewhere safe where we can put the hands on the bench. But you need to find an exercise program that will give you things like stepping strategies. We do a lot of stepping strategies in my class. And the repetition of movement, so anything that is repetition in movement, will help increase the confidence and then actually get you to move better. We move better, we move more, then we're less likely to lose that balance. But you can, like I said, they've got lots of resources on my website to help you with that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the great answer. And so thank you so much as everyone got engaged in your presentation. It was, yeah, the second presentation with great energy. You have continued this. So hoping the next speakers also continue the same energy throughout the event. And I want you to join other upcoming sessions as well to share your questions, to share your love with the other speakers as well. Thank you for joining this Global Virtual Summit 2024 and sharing the wonderful presentation with the audience internationally. So, yeah, and have a nice day. Please join other session.
Thank you.
This
I will when I can, but I do have a couple of clients this afternoon, so I have people to help.
okay, sure. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Please join our next session, Joanne Farrell.
Okay. I'm unable to because I have to prepare for my next client, but I should be able to watch some of the later ones.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.